Listen to me very carefully this morning, because what I'm about to share is not just something for your ears, it's something for your spirit, your direction, your healing, your endurance, and your destiny. I want you to hear this the way heaven sent it. What was meant to harm you will elevate you. You didn't wake up today by coincidence. You woke up because God wanted to correct the way you've been interpreting your battles. You've been assuming the attack was designed to destroy you. But God said the attack was permitted to position you. You thought the enemy was winning, but God was weaving that very thing into your promotion. The pain wasn't punishment. The betrayal wasn't the end. The loss was not your stopping point. What was meant to harm you is becoming the platform God uses to lift you into the next dimension of your purpose. This is why you felt pressure. This is why life has felt heavier than usual. This is why some of your closest relationships shifted without warning. This is why opportunities you counted on unexpectedly collapsed. This is why you've been going through nights where your mind would not rest and days where your heart felt weary. It's not because something is wrong with you, it's because something is right with you. The attack came because of your assignment. The agitation came because you are being elevated. But you've been interpreting harm the wrong way. You thought the enemy had the final move. You thought the pain was pointless. You thought what they did to you was the conclusion of your story. But God said, what they meant for harm, I will use for increase what they meant for humiliation. I will turn into honor what they meant for delay. I will convert into acceleration. I want you to pause for a moment and look at your life honestly. Look at the moments that shook you. Look at the seasons that drained you. Look at the people who walked out. Look at the situations you thought you would never recover from. Look at the burdens you carried quietly. Look at the disappointments you never said out loud. Look at the times when you questioned whether you were ever going to make it through. Now hear this. Every one of those moments is about to be used as the soil for your elevation. Nothing you went through is being wasted. Not the betrayal, not the loss, not the financial strain, not the isolation, not the confusion, not the closed doors, not the exhaustion. God said, everything that was meant to work against you is now working for you. The reason you felt like giving up recently is because you reached the turning point. You hit the place where elevation begins. The enemy always fights the hardest when promotion is closest. The darkest hour is always just before dawn. And the attack intensifies because the enemy senses what you cannot yet see. Your life is shifting upward. Your influence is shifting upward. Your understanding is shifting upward. Your spiritual perception is shifting upward. Your discernment is shifting upward. And because of that, the enemy tried to use pressure to make you withdraw. But God said, I allow the pressure, because pressure does not crush you when I am strengthening you inside. Pressure reveals what you are made of. Pressure reveals what I placed in you. Pressure reveals that the situation could not break you because you were built for it. You didn't know how strong you were until everything around you started shaking. You didn't know how resilient your spirit was until life threw you into places you were never prepared for. You didn't know how much endurance you carried until people you trusted wounded you. You didn't know how much faith you had until resources dried up and you still survived. You didn't know how much discipline you had until you had to do things afraid. You didn't know how much courage you had until disappointment tried to suffocate your hope and you fought your way forward anyway. What was meant to harm you has actually revealed your strength. What was meant to discourage you is revealing your determination. What was meant to shake your identity is revealing how deeply God has anchored you. What was meant to stop you is revealing how unstoppable you truly are when God breathes purpose into your bones. The enemy miscalculated something. He assumed that the event would define you. He assumed the betrayal would cripple you. He assumed the financial strain would make you retreat. He assumed the disappointment would silence your faith. He assumed the heartbreak would destroy your confidence. He assumed the loss would leave you permanently broken. But the enemy underestimated who strengthens you. He underestimated who holds you. He underestimated who called you. He underestimated who carries the final authority over your story. When God says elevation is coming, nothing, no attack, no person, no circumstance, no delay can stop what heaven has decreed. I want you to hear this with clarity. The harm was not your destiny. The harm was your teacher. The harm sharpened you. The harm humbled you. The harm purified your motives. The harm forced you to grow. The harm forced you to seek wisdom. The harm forced you to separate from people who were not aligned with your future. The harm pushed you into prayer. The harm pushed you into deeper identity. The harm pushed you to stop tolerating what drained you. The harm pushed you to stop negotiating your worth. The harm pushed you to stop living in survival mode. The harm pushed you into transformation. And transformation always precedes elevation. Some of you are still angry about things God already turned into fuel. You're mourning what you lost, but heaven is celebrating what you gained. You're replaying what they did, but God is rewriting what you're becoming. You're focusing on the wound, but God is using the scar as a landmark of your authority. You're looking at the damage, but God is looking at the development. You're looking at the setback, but God is looking at the setup. You're looking at the moment of pain, but God is looking at the lifetime of purpose it unlocked. Everything the enemy hoped would break you actually broke chains off you. Everything he hoped would silence you actually refined your voice. Everything he hoped would weaken you actually strengthened your foundation. Everything he hoped would confuse you actually clarified your priorities. Everything he hoped would make you quit actually made you depend on God in a deeper way. What was meant to harm you has become part of the reason God can now elevate you without it destroying your character. You see, promotion requires purification. Elevation requires separation. Expansion requires confrontation. And God allowed harm not to punish you, but to prepare you. Because the version of you before the harm would not have been ready for the platform God is giving you next. You needed deeper roots. You needed a clearer mind. You needed emotional maturity. You needed spiritual sharpness. You needed discernment that can't be fooled by flattery. You needed boundaries that honor your worth. You needed confidence that is not built on people's approval. You needed faith that is not dependent on circumstances. You needed strength that cannot be shaken by pressure. You needed wisdom that only hard seasons can produce. Now look at yourself. After everything, you are wiser, you are stronger, you are more aware, you are more disciplined, you are more focused, you are more compassionate, you are more discerning, you are more surrendered, you are more spiritually attuned, And because of all this, you are now ready for the elevation that was always written into your destiny. What was meant to harm you is becoming your testimony. It is shaping your influence. It is creating openings you never imagined. It is unlocking connections that were previously closed to you. It is awakening gifts that were dormant. It is calling out the leader inside of you. It is preparing the stage you will stand on. It is aligning you with opportunities that once seemed impossible. Let me remind you, there is nothing the enemy can do to you that God cannot transform into strength. Joseph was thrown into a pit, sold into slavery, falsely accused, imprisoned, betrayed, forgotten. But every one of those events became part of the architecture of his elevation. Not one moment of harm stopped God's plan. In fact, every moment of harm positioned him for the palace. He said, "You meant it for evil, but God meant it for good." That is what your life is reflecting right now. You are in your but God season. Yes. They meant harm. Yes. Life hit hard. Yes. You cried tears no one saw. Yes. You carried burdens alone. Yes. The pressure was real. Yes. Your heart was bruised. But God transforms harm into honor. God transforms pain into purpose. God transforms loss into legacy. God transforms betrayal into redirection. God transforms struggle into strategy. God transforms adversity into anointing. You're entering a season where you will not merely recover, you will rise. You will not just heal, you will elevate. You will not just move forward, you will advance with authority. You will not just be restored, you will be launched. And God wants you to understand something. Elevation is not a reward. Elevation is an assignment. It is not about feeling better. It is about becoming who you were always meant to be. It is not about getting revenge. It is about fulfilling destiny. God elevates you so you can serve from a higher perspective. He elevates you so you can speak with weight. He elevates you so you can influence with integrity. He elevates you so you can help people still stuck in the places he delivered you from. He elevates you so you can break generational patterns. He elevates you so you can build what others thought you were too damaged to build. And hear this, the people who harmed you do not get to define how the story ends. The pain doesn't write your destiny. God does. And God is saying that what harmed you is becoming the very reason heaven is lifting you. Your elevation is not in spite of what happened, it is because of what happened. You are about to see why you survived. You are about to see why God allowed certain things. You are about to see why he closed those doors. You are about to see why he removed certain people. You are about to see why the plan changed. You are about to see why the journey was delayed. You are about to see why the season felt heavy. You are about to see why the process was painful. You are about to see why the warfare intensified. You are about to see why your spirit was stretched. You are about to see why you couldn't quit even when you wanted to. You are about to see why God kept whispering. Hold on, because elevation is here. Not next year, not someday, not eventually. God is elevating you now, quietly but powerfully, slowly but surely, internally before externally, spiritually before visibly. Your mindset is shifting. Your vision is expanding. Your confidence is returning. Your hope is reviving. Your strength is rebuilding. Your discernment is sharpening. Your heart is healing. Your identity is stabilizing. Your spirit is rising. This is elevation. This is transformation. This is divine reversal. And I want you to settle this. Nothing that was meant to harm you will succeed. Not emotionally, not spiritually, not financially, not relationally, not mentally. God is overturning every negative impact. He is reversing every intended harm. He is restoring every damaged area. He is rebuilding every broken place. He is reviving every weary part of you. And after he does, your life will carry a message so powerful that no one will be able to deny God's hand on you. People will look at your story and say, I don't know how you survived that. And you will respond, I wasn't just surviving, God was elevating me. Your elevation is your evidence. Your peace is your evidence. Your clarity is your evidence. Your resilience is your evidence. Your transformation is your evidence. Your progress is your evidence. And your future will speak louder than anything you lost. God said, what was meant to harm you will elevate you. And it is happening even now, one breath, one choice, one step, one prayer at a time. Your story is rising. Your spirit is rising. Your future is rising. And nothing can stop it.